All right, guys, that's as far as we're going. The rest of it's really bad. This isn't your biggest headache. Your big headache is as you get further down, the trail narrows considerably and it gets to be pretty dangerous.
Let's look at not where the water is now, but where the water was a few million years ago. Let's get some gear out. Let's have some fun.
Let's get to digging.
Let's break in those shovels, man. Hi, my name is Kevin Hoagland, and I have been prospecting and mining for over 40 years. I have gone to some of the most incredible places around the world, and I've prospected and mined with some of the most incredible people.
Searching for gold dust in the valley of bloodlust, under the sun misunderstood. And when that train comes rolling in, I'm taking everything I can.
Today I'm in Southern Oregon with some of my friends, Mike, Corey, and Alex.
I've known Kevin for about 7 years, since about 2005, and our paths kind of kept crossing at the gold shows. Then it just sort of occurred to us to maybe do a trip or two together.
My name is Corey Jameson. I'm from Redding, California, and I've been prospecting for approximately 18 years.
I'm Alex Mendoza. Been prospecting for about 2 or 3 years now.
I've known Mike for a number of years, and he was telling us about a claim that he hasn't been to in a long time. So we're going to go down and check it out. What are we doing?
Yeah, you know, that is a great claim. The Achilles heel of that claim, of course, is getting in. The trail is good for about the first mile, and then you've got about 1.5 miles where it gets very, very narrow and a very steep drop-off in a very short period of time. There are places where you can barely get a motorcycle along that trail, and it's a good 30, 40, some places 50 feet drop-off.
Stop. Straighten out the wheels.
Go.
Go.
All right, guys, that's as far as we're going.
Get out.
The rest of it's really bad.
It was literally the end of the road. We tried to get out to some claims, and the trail got narrower and narrower. The crossings got worse and worse, and finally got to the point where could have made the last crossing, but after that, the road narrowed down to barely a motorcycle trail, and it was just time to stop. It's kind of the end of the road, isn't it?
It is the end of the road. You've got a lot of bad road ahead of you, very, very narrow, very dangerous, and very steep.
How much further to the claim?
You've got maybe another 1.5 miles from here. You're going to cross the creek one more time, and then you've got some cliffs that you're going to edge along, and you want to be very cautious as you're going across next to those.
How narrow?
Some places maybe 18 inches wide with a good 40, 50, 60-foot drop-off.
I've heard about that claim from my buddy Mike, and I really wanted to get out there. I know that he's found some good gold out there.
This isn't your biggest headache. Your big headache is as you get further down, the trail narrows considerably and it gets to be pretty dangerous.
Ooh, that gets nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not worried about this in the Jeep. That's my driveway at home.
Yeah. You're good for about another 100 feet, and then after that, you really are on foot with everything on your back.
And where's how far?
You're about 1.5 miles at this point. Pretty narrow in a lot of places, steep drop-offs, nasty overhangs.
It's too late in the afternoon to try that one.
Yeah, it'd be pretty rough.
That road was pretty sketchy. Looked like we were about to go off the cliff.
tried to get into that other claim, it was pretty rough. We had to go through some pretty treacherous areas. If we had maybe some quads, we could probably get back in there a little bit further, and definitely more time, daylight time, to get back in there. We'd have really enjoyed that as well. So,
Drive up to the claim we're supposed to go to. Pretty rough road. Then we had to turn around.
The lateness of the day, there was just no way possible to do that on this trip. You're gonna have to save it, put it back in the archives, and come back.
We elected to probably do the wise thing and come and select a different spot. Let's go. We can get some prospecting time in, get some coil time in, and should be good.
What do you guys think? Everybody in?
Good.
Okay. Let's get out of here.
Let's go.
We turned around, we got out of the area that we were in, left Mike's claims, came to a spot where he and I both have been years ago. The typical thing is to think of this as like the inside bend.
Right.
Because we've got the inside bend here, and you can see where people have been working back and forth on this bench. And this spot right in here, we can see where people have been doing some work. But if you look at that from just the normal perspective of prospecting, they're working the wrong side, aren't they?
sure.
We can see where people have been doing some work. But if you look at that from just the normal perspective of prospecting, they're working the wrong side, aren't they?
Sure.
But now let's look at something a little bit different. Let's look at not where the water is now, but where the water was a few million years ago. And there's some very interesting things about this spot that, you know, it actually starts when you're up there on the road. When we were coming in that area where you could see that mudstone and that schist belt that was coming through in that different contact zone, well, that bedrock layer ran this way and came down through here. So that's, you know, you don't always just look at the stream, you look at everything that's encompassing it. It's not just this area, it's everything around it. So if we start up there and we follow this bedrock layer that came down through, and we start looking at this, there's the old bench.
Kevin talked about the geology, the placement of the rock, the type of material that we're working in, and really gave us a good education and an overview of what we could expect and why we could expect it.
And the bench, of course, you know, is where water used to be. But watch this bench and follow this bench around, and what happens is it comes up, and right where this bedrock comes through, it ends. That is almost a straight up and down shot right up that hill. So that actually tells me that if we look at it from the perspective of the way the water was coming through here, that this was actually the flats at one point in time, with, you know, possibly a little bit of a turn, more of a turn right around there, and more of a lighter area through here, or the inside bend coming through there, and then just, this was pretty much, this looks like this was pretty much a straight shot. So if that's the case, these guys were probably finding a little bit of gold on here, but where would you go?
I'd definitely go with the downwater side. I'd probably dig on the opposite side of that, where they stopped.
Yeah.
And continue where they stopped, basically.
Yeah, instead of following it around that side, because of the way the bedrock is sheared this way, I think if we work a little bit of that area right in through there, and maybe classify a few buckets there, test that area out, and then, Mike, you went across the other side.
Yeah, it's beautiful over there.
And did you find bedrock over there?
Yeah, I did.
How high up? Like 10, 15 feet above the water level?
No, I wouldn't call it that. I would call it maybe 6 or 7 feet above the water level right now. So somebody's done a lot of work clearing, getting down to it.
But you can tell, I mean, look at the rock material that's been cleaned out of there. That's definitely old channel through there. It's not exactly what I remember it being, but man, it held an incredible amount of potential just from looking at the geology. We already know that there's gold here. I'm not even going to bother breaking out a gold pan and doing a little testing and sampling. We know that we're in an area that's a gold producer. We know that gold's come out of this area. I think you and I have both found gold here over the years. What I want to do is I want to get, you know what, I got a couple of pieces of equipment in the truck that I think will be perfect for working this area.
Great.
So let's drag that stuff out and let's classify down a few buckets of material and just see and do a little bit of testing. But let's do it again from this perspective of not looking at where the stream channel is now. Let's go back a couple of million years ago. Let's go back to where it used to be, to where this is the end of our world. That break right there, and that bedrock break, that becomes the end of the world, and this is our channel. So we're looking at all of this from the perspective of this being a flowing channel. Let's get some gear out. Let's have some fun.
Let's get to digging.
Let's break in those shovels, man. Let's get those
Let's
shovels.
break them in at last.
Let's get those shovels dirty.
We've only carted them for 100 miles.
You got to make a bigger hole, man. We got to get everybody in there. Hurry up, get all the gold out.
What we did, we got down onto what we thought was bedrock, pulled a fairly large boulder out of there and got down on what we call around here the blue channel. And the blue channel has typically been a very good carrier, or at least a companion to gold in this part of Oregon. And as we got deeper and deeper, we discovered that there was another layer of material, more blue channel clay. So that clay material is just like potter's clay. So the gold really adheres to it, and if you're not cautious as you start processing it in any type of machine, whether it's a gold grabber or a rocker box, that gold has a tendency to ball inside of the clay, stick to it, and roll right on out the back. So what we do is we get a little water in a bucket, we kind of slurry it down, we start breaking that down and give it some time to kind of separate.
We set up out here using the mini gold grabber and the new gold grabber rocker box. A few months ago, I had the opportunity to go to Idaho and see how it was made. Our first stop was Custom Rotomold in Caldwell, where I had the chance to meet up with Ed Wilson to see the first step in the process.
I'm Edward Wilson. I'm president of Custom Rotomolding. This division is located in Caldwell, Idaho, about 20 miles west of Boise, Idaho.
No mistake in the gold grabber.
Right, gold grabber. I grew up in Placerville, California, and we used to go gold mining down on the American River, not far from where gold was discovered at Coloma, California. So I'm very familiar with sluice boxes. We used to make our own out of wood, and have an old gas-powered water pump, and go down and just process on our own. So they'll put the bucket on the digital scale, tear it out, and then put in the respective resin, whether it's green, black. In the case of the gold grabber we're running today, it's dark green. The dark.
Yeah, and everything you've got's already a different color, right?
Well, no, what it is we have an awfully large blender over there that blends 50 pounds of resin at a time.
To be able to walk into Custom Rotomold and see the material that just, you know, there's 8.5 pounds of plastic pellets.
Typical loading of the pigment is 1 gram per pound.
1 gram per pound? It's
yeah.
that concentrated?
Yeah. So on an 8.5 pound part, of course, it would be 8.5 grams of powder, but we don't mix just that. We mix a master batch of 50 pounds at a time.
Wow.
We started this business about 22 years ago, just to service the RV industry here in the Treasure Valley. And since then we have grown to custom molded products and agricultural and industrial tank storage, as well as a gold grabber. It starts with the design. Usually a customer will have an idea of what he wants, and in most cases we design the product here for him. Once the product has been quoted and the customers approve the design. Yeah, so what he's going to do now is he's going to set it up so he can take the clamps off of it.
Well, it's pretty simple. They pop the clamps.
Right, right. From there, which takes anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks to go from the part design to the actual mold being finished. And then from there, we go into the molding operation.
high-tech stuff and a
Yeah,
low-tech way to do it.
The beauty of this process for people like the Gold Grabber and all these other things is very inexpensive to get into this process if you have a product that you need. You know, compared to other processes, like those balls could be made by the blow molding process, but a mold for a blow mold might run you $75,000. From there, then we release a production card that goes to the production floor, and they mold the product. And it'll come back through the doors behind me into the trim finish area where it gets trimmed and finished and shipped out either on pallets or by full truck. He's getting ready to drop the bottom out now. Now that has inserts in it, and they've already taken the inserts. The inserts are held in by bolts outside of the tool. So.
Oh, okay, I see. So what he was doing at the very end there was pulling the nuts or pulling the bolts out.
Right.
That held the nuts in. Okay.
So just held in with a bolt.
I don't think I've ever gotten to watch a piece of equipment like that ever built. I mean, I've seen injection molding before, where they're just basically just squirting things out like crazy.
Since this plant started with Allen Tree's products 20 years ago, and he moved it over the years to other molders, it's now come back home, which is here. And we've helped him develop new products along the way.
To see a hollow piece of equipment built, and the way the rotomold system works, the way that the precise heat, the precise amount of moisture on it when it comes out, to cool it properly so it doesn't have seam lines in it. It was to watch that process really gives you a better understanding of the equipment that you're using.
The Gold Grabber's 1 is probably one of his most successful products. We also do pontoons for his dredges, and we do some of the components for the dredges that he manufactures. Yeah, we're a rotational molding company, which means we rotate the product. It's a very slow rotation, however, about 6 RPM. You see we've got 4 molds in that arm right now. 2 of those are ball molds, and that is a science project up at the World Science Fair. We're making 610 of those red balls for some project that they're doing. So there's your half-finished product. Anyway, the molding job is done. Those inserts that he was taking out are these right here.
Okay, so those were the bolts that he was pulling out.
And he'll put more back in here in just a moment. They'll clamp the mold up, seal it, and then they'll put the 8.5-pound shot weight back into the tool.
Now you do all the engineering on this, right?
That's right, that's right. Well, on this particular product, Alan did all of this. But
I mean, as far as figuring the shot weight and everything else like that. So.
Yeah. Just held in place with a bolt, just so the plastic doesn't leak. And it'll transfer heat from the bolt through the inserts, and so it'll pick up the plastic.
So does that kind of draw it down on top of it?
It draws it tight against it, yeah. And so in rotomolding, unless that insert gets hot, plastic won't mold around it.
Right.
So it's got to transfer. So then we'll just set it over here, and then in the next day or so, they'll take them out. Of course, we'll take one and show you what the other processes that we do here. But sometimes it doesn't make the cut. Something happens in the process. And so we reuse all of the plastic. In this case here, we have to cut out those inserts that are molded in there because this...
Right, so these inserts,
they have to be removed.
Okay,
yeah.
These legs get cut off.
Right, they get cut off. The inserts are discarded. But if we send it to our granulators with that, we may have to pay for a set of blades when they go through their granulator. So we remove all the inserts, and we don't segregate the colors, because in the end, it all comes back to us in black plastic.
Yeah, so what happens to that?
This gets collected outside. When we get a truckload, we send it to Portland, Oregon for processing.
For me, that was just absolutely cool, because I really love the science of all of this, along with just getting out here and digging dirt, but to be able to see the science and know the engineering and the calculations that went into that to find the right amount of material to create this, that was absolutely worthwhile.
You know, it's sad to look at this. I mean, I appreciate the quality control, but it's just the thought of a gold grabber that'll never see gold.
Right, right. Well, well, because of the price that he gets for them, we can't allow something that won't make the grade to go out.
Absolutely.
So this will go to our processor up in Portland, Oregon.
Yeah.
It'll be reclaimed, granulated, and it'll come back as black processed resin, and then it'll go into our holding tanks. So this will probably become a holding tank.
A holding tank?
A holding tank.
Like RV holding tank?
Right, either a black or gray water, so you know what that means.
So this thing went from having the opportunity to have gold in it
Right.
to having turds?
Right, right.
Great.
Right.
These things are rugged.
They are. A typical run for us on a product is 20 pieces, where a blow molder won't even mount a mold for less than 1,200 pieces because they can get 1,200 rounds in a day. Our particular facility here averages about 20 rounds in a single day. And so we like to, when we mount a mold, at least get 1 day's production from the tool before we remove it.
Ed, thanks for letting us come in today.
All right, Kevin,
It's been
thanks.
a pleasure, man.
Yeah, great to have you guys up here in Idaho.
Yeah,
See
I love
what we
watching
do.
how all of this comes together.
Right.
I'm heading up to Riggins. Gonna go up to Alan's shop, and we're gonna put the final touches on the gold grabber, get everything cut out, then I'm gonna go out and use it.
Excellent.
All right, man.
Excellent.
We'll see you later.
Thanks again.
Thanks again.
Okay.
Appreciate
Yep.
it.
Thanks you.
Alan, you started my gold grabber without me, man. What are you doing?
Well, Kevin, I got the blank, so I thought I'd just start cutting some of the parts out.
I got to say, Alan Trees did a great job putting this together because it really is old technology combined with new technology.